Wanna be where you are. I want you to look the way, boy. Be my superstar. Your love is all it takes, boy. Wanna be where you are. I want you to look.
Okay, I think we're rolling. Hello. Sorry, hello. Yes, I am filming in my, shared office space. I'm not going to whiz around. One day you will see what's behind here, where I do create, but not today. Today this is just a short video or short little intro, because the video you're about to see is, I'm making 4 tags, and I'm using some digital designs of mine that I've tidied up, which came from the Inktober drawings I did, and I've got 4 of them, and those are the ones I should be showing. However, stay through to the end of the video and look below, because although I'm showing 4, and 4 of them are going to go up in my Etsy store, there is a 5th one I did, and that is this one. And you can have this one for free just by clicking the link below. There we go. It's Little Malice. This is for Inktober. I did some prompts by James Burke, which he called Whimsy Ween. And actually this is his prompt of Alice in Wonderland. And so, yes, I'm not going to say that this is Alice in Wonderland. That is, I don't know about copyrights and things like that, but this is my little drawing I did for it, and I created a Little Malice. So if you would like to download this and print it out at whatever size you want and use it in your mixed media projects or card making projects, I would love you to do so. Okay, right, roll video.
And yes, we're back to video proper now. Starting off with my painting 4 pieces of square card. Now I initially thought, as I was doing this project, that I would make 4 individual art journal pages, hence why I've got 4 squares that I've painted in Paperartsy colours. The Paperartsy Fresco chalk paints, that is. Once I finished them, I thought, actually, I think it would look better if they were tags. Now, what I did was, once I've painted this, and you will see later on as the video proceeds, is I cut these in half, and rather than have 2 tags, I actually liked the idea of sticking it back to back, so that you had, or I have, a coloured background as well as the decorated bit. I'm sure nobody will look at the back of the tags, but I suppose knowing that the whole tag looks decorative and painted, fills me with artistic creative joy. I like the fact that the back of them is also pretty as well as the front, so don't ask me why. That's my kind of perverse kind of aesthetics. Now, as you've briefly seen there, the focal images are 4 of these. I keep saying about these 4 stamps. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. What I've done so far is, we had the Inktober challenge back in October. I know, seems like a lifetime away. And for it, I took I did all the Whimsy Ween challenges that James Burke sort of set up. And so what I've done is I've taken 5 of my favourites, and I got onto my Illustrator software and just redid them, vectorised them, if you understand that term, and turned them into some digi-stamps. And as I also mentioned, the one of them I'm offering for free, that you can click on the download. That's below, and please enjoy and do as you wish with it. But anyway, I've got 4 of these critters now to colour in. So I've taken, given that I've got my 4 coloured backgrounds, I've anticipated which particular critter or drawing I want to go with each tag, and coloured them in a complementary colour. So here's the pussycat, Fang, and I must be putting him on the purple tag because the complementary colour of purple is yellow. Hence the reason why I've sort of like dug out my paints, and all I'm doing with all of the kind of images I've got here, they're printed out on copy paper, they're not printed out on watercolours, so we're not talking about being overly professional looking here. I mean, the paints go on brilliantly, so I have absolutely no problem with it, but sort of like all I'm doing is putting on just one solid block of colour. I'm not doing anything about shading or sort of like putting on splashes of different colour. I mean, there's all sorts of techniques, and all I'm doing is putting on, as I say, just a block wash, because I know that when I'm not experimenting, my kind of default style is to paint a block of colour and then fill in the shadows with pencil or another medium. Now, I have done it with watercolour before, but I thought since I'm doing 4 tags here, I thought I'd stick with something I was used to and was within my own comfort zone. I didn't see these particular ones as being my time to experiment and play. I mean, I've been experimenting and playing enough. In fact, the reason I sort of like went safe with this is that excuse me, and the reason it's taken me a while since October to sort of like get this video up and going is that I have already produced made some art journal pages with this. I did it once and I filmed it, and but I played about with new colouring materials, new techniques, and I doodled all over it, and I looked at the finished thing and thought, I'm not really happy with showing that to the world. It's not because I thought it was rubbish. I mean, I learnt a lot from it and the pages were good, but I just didn't think that it was something I wanted to share with the world. I mean, when you create art, there is stuff you do by yourself in your own room and nobody gets to see because you've got to learn and grow. And same as me, sort of like, you know, you make all your mistakes and then learn from them and make something again using that knowledge. So yes, I put it down to education. I mean, I'm sure if anybody else, I think it's difficult that sort of like you show these pages that I think look horrible, show them as other people and they can't see what's wrong with them, so it's just me. And it could be the same with the pages you don't get to see. So anyway, that's the long answer for sort of like turning around and saying I have done this project once before, it's gone through the whole process of being filmed and uploaded, and I then sort of like pulled the plug because I said no, this is just for me. So in all that time that I've just been rambling on, these tags have been making progress. So as you can see, I've cut these squares in half. There were 12 by 12 squares, or 12 inch by 12 inch squares. I've cut them in half, so they're 12 by 6 now. Stuck them back to back, made a little paper template so that my tags would all look the same, and then I snipped off the corners, and then took my all my sort of coloured in images, cut them out, and stuck one on each tag. And as you can see, here we go, I've got an orange fella, so I've stuck him on, but he's on a reddy orange, which goes on a aqua, because those are your complementary colours. All these quotes, as usual, if you know me, have come from podcasts and books and overheard conversations and all that kind of thing. So they're all they're all said or written by somebody else. It's just I get tickled by them, take them out of context and put them onto my tags. So no stretch and double itchy. I know that came from the Fortunately podcast, and if you don't listen to it, please listen to it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's Jane Garvey and Fee Glover, Fortunately. I believe it's award winning. They've been #1 in the charts. I've heard that podcast since the first one, which must be a couple of years ago now, maybe a bit longer. It started out as a podcast about radio and Radio 4, but those two have such a funny personality. They got such a sense of humour. And I walked down to town, shoved my headphones on, listened to this podcast on a Friday, and I am often sort of like wondering if people are looking at me because I am laughing away. I choose what I listen to when I'm walking out and about in town very carefully, normally, because I don't want to be bursting out laughing. Normally, if I have a funny podcast or comedy that I want to listen to, I usually wait till I'm on a walk that I do down by the river, because I'm usually on my own, and if something makes me crease up and double up in laughter, or at least guffaw out loud, I'm on my own. I'm not acting like the local weird person. So, enough of that. Once I did finish my tags, getting back to these tags, I've outlined them with my black Posca pen, and I have outlined the text. I have filled in the text with the extra. Oh, actually, no, I can't remember what the word is. The feet and things. The word will come to me, but I've thickened out the text. I am now taking my coloured pencils and I'm starting to add some basic shading to my critters. You know me, I don't sort of like put an awful lot of finance. I like the graphic, I like the bold, so I find one colour that's darker and then add the shadows, a little bit of outlining, give it that kind of street arty, graphic, illustration feel to it rather than the photorealistic feel. And I think we must be coming up to the last little tag, because we're going to have some close-ups, and after the close-ups, a little message to remind you once again that there's a freebie for you to play with. And right, okay, well, thank you for listening to all my ramblings. Here are the close-ups, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.